welcome back to Alternative Smallholding. It's a rather blustery day, so if you can't hear me very well I do apologise. I'll try and speak a bit louder than I usually do. We've come up the plot today because there is another storm coming through, and I just wanted to put some things around the greenhouse and weigh down the polycarbonate sheets that we've got so that they're not going to fly off. So I think this one's going to be a bit harder. It is a bit harder than the last one. So I've already done that. I did that as soon as we arrived. Rue is running around playing in the mud as she does, and I thought whilst I'm here I will film a video on transplanting the blackcurrant bush, or the currant bush, as I don't know which one it is yet. It's very windy. And show you how to prune them, because now is the perfect time to do this job. So I'm going to get everything sorted and together, and then we're going to move down the plot, which will be a little bit more windy because we're not as sheltered, and I'll show you how to transplant a blackcurrant bush. See you in a minute, bye bye. So it is Friday afternoon. Unlike a lot of people at this time of year who their plots are shutting down and they don't have as many videos to show, I've got pages and pages of videos that I want to film for you guys, but I'm having to stagger them out a bit because I don't want to put them all up in one go while the weather's nice and then go through some really horrid weather where we can't come out, we can't do as much, and I've got nothing to show you. So, but what we're going to do today is I'm going to transplant one of these currant bushes and show you how to prune it back and how to transplant it. Right, so here we've got a very large currant bush, unknown variety, we just know it's currant. And here and there we've got two smaller ones that were put in towards the end of last year, I believe. Again, I don't know what varieties they are. So what I want to do is, there's a rhubarb on the end there, but then next year all of this bed is going to be tomatoes. So I want to get these currant bushes out, get this ground prepared, level it out because there's some holes in where they've taken some things out when they left the plot, and sort it out a bit. Now there's our gooseberry bush, and then we've got this space here which is about 3 foot, and we've got this end of barrier cane for the raspberries which is like a cage, and then we've got another, say, 3 foot there before the grass starts. Now I'm going to put the bigger one in this side because I can clear more grass and it'll have more space, and then the other one in here. But today I think I'm just going to put the little one in this part. And then what I will do is my blueberries, which are in that tub there, those two tubs, they will go on the end on the other side of that currant. So then that's 3 dedicated fruit beds, and this one, which is kind of a half fruit bed, will become tomatoes. Before we do anything, we're going to prune this currant bush because I want to make sure that it's putting some energy into growing some new roots next year. This may affect its fruiting, but in the long term it will actually provide a better plant. When you're pruning any currant bushes, you don't take out any of the new wood. You look for the oldest wood you can, because currant bushes will fruit on their first year or second year branches, so they're newest ones. So if you take a lot of those out, then you're really going to affect the fruit that you receive the following year, so in this case 2019. So in this currant bush we can see this branch here, which has come up through the middle and is rubbing this branch and is going straight across. Now ideally I don't want any branches that are going through the middle of the bush because I want to keep it, like the gooseberry, a nice open goblet shape. So what I'm going to do is, that's the first branch that I'm going to take out. So I'm going to take this on a slight angle so that any rain can run off it and not down into the bush. Now on this side we've got, you can see the difference in the branches. This one here is quite an old branch, it's gone quite silvery, whereas this one is a new one. The new one is crossing over the old one, but it is pointing outwards, so rather than take out the new one, I'm going to take the old one out. And then again here, these two are crossing over, This one here is an old branch, and this one's quite new. So I'm going to take out this one, because this one is pointing into the plant and this one is pointing outwards. Another thing you can do to make it easier to transport and to help the plant put more energy into its roots and not into the production of these leaves next year is to take off some of the top growth. Now I'm only going to do this a bit. I'm going to take off probably about 8 inches, but only on these 2 big leader branches. And now we've got a pretty open shaped blackberry bush. I didn't want to take out too much because it is a young bush. I keep saying blackberry, don't I? Currant bush. So now what we need to do is get it out and transfer it. Currant bushes are best transferred and pruned when they're dormant. So that is any time from, say, late November up until late winter, so end of February, start of March. Weed membrane's revealing some lovely soil underneath. Well, I want to take it back, so I want to take as much soil with the plant as I can, and that will mean that I don't damage the roots too much. So I'm going to go round as far as I can with this plant, probably a foot on the outside. Just give it a slight wiggle. I'm going to do that all the way round before I even really attempt to lift it. Now currants have quite a substantial root system, which I had a bit of trouble with on our old plot when we tried to dig out one of the massive black currants there to make way so that we could extend the bed. And it took forever to do. It was worth it in the end. As I'm doing this, I can smell that the bush smells of blackcurrant. So I'm expecting again. It's another blackcurrant bush. We're plagued by them. Well, let's give it a go. It deserves a chance. And if it does end up being a blackcurrant bush, we can always pass it on to somebody else. That's it, the roots are starting to loosen. Oh, don't want to go through the weed membrane. Hello, did you have a bit of a fall? There's the one on this side that's holding on. I can't get my fork down too far because of this bed. Are you coming? You're not, are you? Some beautiful fungi growing on the roots here. You can see that in the sun. It's lovely. I'm trying to pull the roots out as far back as I can rather than just snapping them. Wow, that one goes away. There we go. That's a good root system. Quite a little plant. It's not bad, is it? So I've done is dug quite a nice size hole here, and that should give space for the roots to spread out. I'm actually take it a little bit further that way just to make sure that those long side roots have got a bit more room. This hole's looking pretty good. There's room for the roots to go in without being squashed. So I think that will do nicely. Now, one thing you do need to know, when you are transplanting usual fruit bushes, you will plant them to the soil level. So the soil level would be where the soil level was on the plant that you dug up. With currants, you need to plant them about 5 centimetres to 2 inches below that, which will allow them to send off good, strong new growth. So that's about where it is, which will bring it up to about this bud here. So I'm going to make sure all these roots are safely tucked in, and I'm going to start backfilling it. Right, so what I've done is actually turned it around a bit because this big root was better on this side. So that's sitting about 5 centimetres below the soil level, so now I'm going to fill that back in. I'm going to give that a firm in. So what I'm going to do now is get a watering can full of water, and I'm going to put all that in, because although it's winter, and obviously it's not going to dry out, it needs that water to seep down and go through all the little roots and take all the earth into any air pockets that's in there. So we're going to go and get that water now, if I can find my watering can, and do that. So there we go, there's one currant bush transplanted and pruned. I'm Jazz from Alternative Smallholding, and hopefully I've just given you a bit of an insight in how to transplant and prune your currant bushes over the winter. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and drop your comments down below. Let me know what you're doing this weekend, and if you've got any currant bushes that you want to transfer, and if you found this useful. Thanks for watching, see you soon, bye bye.